Well, welcome back. Day 35 of my Nano Lagoon. I couldn't wait. I needed to get some life into this tank or else I was going to lose my mind. I was sick of staring at just rocks. So we went out today and we picked up some fish. I have right here a pretty little firefish and a couple of really small Nemos. Yeah, I know that one's got a bit of a bite on his fin and probably not a good idea to get him, but my wife has a big heart and she liked him. So her fish is called Fry, mine's called Burger. The firefish, I believe, is called Perry. So I'm slowly acclimating them now. We just got them home. They're sitting in their bags. I rinsed the bags off and wiped them off so they're clean. Got them hanging in, and the temperature is going to raise about 15 minutes, and then I'll start slowly adding about half a cup of tank water to the bag every 10 minutes for the next hour or so. And I'll scoop them out with the net and put them in just to make sure none of their water gets into my system, because I'm pretty sure they do use copper and stuff in their systems to treat their fish, and I don't want that in mine, because that could really hurt the inverts and whatnot. So here we are. Pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. I really like the firefish. He's my favorite. I hope he survives. And if all is well, he will. So I will update in a bit when I get them into the tank, and I'll show you some of the other new cool stuff that I've done. Well, it's been a few hours. The fish have been in for a while. They've started swimming around. They like to hang out on this corner. I guess that's where the current pushes them, and they enjoy it there. They get to pick at things floating through the water. If you notice, I've got a little wave maker pump there. I've kind of gone away from the whole blue background stuff with that pump and the new cap. It's not uniformed anymore, but it's okay. It'll do. Eventually I figure everything will be covered with coralline and whatnot, so it doesn't really matter. But this little jobby is 10 bucks, and it gives some really cool waves. Probably not needed, probably overkill, but I enjoy it, and I think the corals probably enjoy it whenever I get them. The cap to my overflow. The reason I got that is because I had a missing snail. He was gone for about 3 days, and I was pretty sure he was either in the pump system, in the tubing, stuck in the sump somewhere, or Jeff the shrimp down there ate him. I don't think Jeff ate him. He hasn't shown any interest in any of the snails other than that one that was dying. So one day I came home from work, shone the flashlight down the overflow, and there was the snail. So I turned the pumps off and had to go back to work for a while. Came home and he was out. All snails are accounted for, so I don't really have to worry about any of them being dead anywhere in the tank right now. And I just took what's a regular 1-inch end cap, because it's 1-inch pipe, drilled a whole bunch of different sized holes. I don't know if you can see this. There's big ones, little ones, and whatnot, and I'm still getting the exact same amount of surface skimming as I did with it being completely open. So that's worked out fine, and the snails will never be able to get down there. As you can see, they're all over the place doing their thing. I do love my cleanup crew. Seems like a good balance for the tank. The only place that has a little bit of extra algae is by the pump there. Doesn't bother me. I'm sure they'll get to it eventually. But new fish, really making me happy. Finally some life, a little more excitement in the tank. It's been over a month and everything's cycled, so I figured why not. And you know, judging on what I have, this is a display, but I also have the sump, so I have the water volume that these guys probably won't send my tank into a terrible big cycle before I get corals. They might do a little mini cycle, but nothing to be worried about. So I've got this one little guy, this little clown, and that's my clown. His name's Burger. And that hyper-spazoid clown right there, that's my wife's clown. His or her name is Fry. I don't know. So we got Burger and Fries. I don't know which one's the male or which one's female yet. I'm sure they'll decide that on their own, and if they can get along, eventually one of them will be the female. They'll do their thing. And the firefish there, he's my favorite. I was just gonna get the firefish, but you know, we figured we might as well get some other ones while we're at it. His name's Perry. It's just beautiful, the colors on him. He's kind of hanging out. He's made friends with the clowns. I don't know if they're going to eventually get sick of him because they're kind of territorial and they'll tell him to screw off. But if he does, he's still got this whole other part of the tank to go into, or whatever he does, build a bolt hole. But he's a gorgeous little fish. Let's see if I can get some close-ups. So anyway, all these guys are reef safe. They won't get much bigger quickly. Yeah, so far they look healthy. Nothing's wrong with them. That one clown there's got a chunk missing out of its top fin. It was a pretty packed tank they were in, and same with the firefish. He's got a little piece missing, but it doesn't look too severe. And again, the firefish was in a tank where he shouldn't have been. It was just full with all kinds of fish that would have picked on him. So in a way, I kind of rescued these guys. The local fish store kind of had an abundance of fish, too much for what they could handle. In the sump, I gotta fix the hinges, but I have added one more pump. They had these Rio 600s. That's also a Rio 600 up there driving the Wave Maker. I had them on sale. They were like $6 each. The Wave Maker was $3, so I figured why not. I haven't clipped my ties, so I've got another pump on my return system, so I could have more of a flow going into the refugium there, and more flow coming out the top. It's a better balance, and now if one of them quits or gets jammed up, I'll always have another pump backing it up and pushing water through. So far so good. Skimmer's doing its job. It's got nice froth, and you know, I gotta empty it maybe, you know, once every 2 days. Maybe with the fish now it'll be a little more. But the sump system is working really well. Water's pretty clear. I did have a bit of cloudiness there one day, but I think that was because the carbon in the filter I didn't change. So I'm gonna start changing the carbon in the filter every 2.5 weeks. Every 2 weeks or so. But yeah, that's the update. I do have some corals coming this week in the mail. They should be here Wednesday. I've got about 10 tiny little frags coming. Just little guys, so I don't think they'll impact the system too much. And they'll be able to grow with it. Mainly some zoes and some mushrooms and a clove. Nothing too big, as you can see. The video's posted what's coming. And hopefully the peppermint shrimp won't touch them. I'm a little worried about that because I've read some forum posts that they can do some damage to corals, and if he does, I'll just take him out, because I'd rather have the corals than him, and I'll throw him in the sump and bring him out if ever I get some aptasia. But that's this week's update. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions or comments, please feel free. And I hope you enjoyed the video with the new fishies, because I like them. Take care.